You're standing in the kitchen, maybe pouring yourself a glass of water, and suddenly the room spins. For a second, you grab the counter to steady yourself. You tell yourself, it's just dizziness, it'll pass. But here's the question. What if it isn't just dizziness? What if it's your body's way of warning you about something much more serious, like a stroke? Now, don't worry, most dizzy spells are harmless. I've had them myself, and chances are you have too. But knowing when to brush it off and when to take action could make all the difference for your health, your independence, even your future. So today, we're unraveling this mystery together. I'll show you how to tell the difference between a harmless dizzy spell and a red flag you should never ignore. And I promise, by the end, you'll feel clearer, calmer, and more confident about what's really happening in your body.
After 50, little changes in our bodies can mean a lot more than they used to. A dizzy spell at 25? You'd probably laugh it off and keep going. But past midlife, the same sensation can raise bigger questions. Why? Because as we age, the chances of stroke and other circulation problems slowly climb. And here's the truth most people don't realize. Sometimes the very first warning sign of a stroke isn't pain. It isn't numbness. It's dizziness. Now, I want to be clear. That doesn't mean every dizzy spell is dangerous. Far from it. But ignoring the possibility altogether can be risky. Stroke is one of the leading causes of lost independence after 50. It's not just about survival. It's about whether you can keep driving, cooking, playing with your grandkids, or traveling the way you've dreamed. The good news? When caught early, strokes can often be treated, and sometimes even prevented. That's why paying attention to these signals matters so much. It's not about living in fear. It's about staying sharp, staying safe, and keeping control of the life you love.
Now, before we jump straight to the scary stuff, let's talk about the most common and usually harmless reasons people feel dizzy. One of the biggest culprits? Dehydration. Something as simple as not drinking enough water during the day can make your head spin. Our bodies are like a garden hose. If the flow slows down, the pressure drops and things just don't run smoothly. A glass of water can often make all the difference. Another common reason is what doctors call postural dizziness. You stand up too fast after sitting or lying down, and for a few seconds, your blood pressure doesn't catch up. That little rush of lightheadedness usually fades quickly once your circulation adjusts. And then there's the inner ear, the body's built-in balance center. If you've ever had a sinus infection, allergies, or even just rolled over in bed and felt the room tilt, chances are your inner ear was behind it. The point is, dizziness is often the body's way of saying, slow down, I need a moment. And in many cases, it passes just as quickly as it came. Here's a simple tip. The next time you feel dizzy, sit down, take a few slow breaths, and sip some water. If it clears up in a few minutes, chances are it was one of these harmless causes. That little pause not only keeps you safe, it also gives your body the reset it sometimes needs. But here's where things get tricky. While many dizzy spells are nothing to lose sleep over, there are times when that same spinning feeling is your body waving a red flag. Think of it this way. Dizziness isn't a disease, it's a symptom. Sometimes it's as harmless as standing up too quickly, and sometimes it's your brain's way of saying, I'm not getting the blood and oxygen I need. This is where we need to pay attention, because in some cases, dizziness can be one of the very first signs of a stroke. And here's the catch. It often doesn't come alone. That's why I want to share with you 3 specific warning signs that set stroke-related dizziness apart from the everyday kind. And one of them has nothing to do with dizziness at all. It has everything to do with your face. We'll get to those in just a moment. But first, remember this. Most dizziness is harmless. What matters is knowing when it's different. Because catching those differences early could save not just your health, but your independence. So, how do you tell the difference between an everyday dizzy spell and one that could mean stroke? Let's break it down into 3 clear warning signs. Number 1, sudden and intense dizziness. This isn't the kind that slowly fades after you stand up too quickly. Stroke-related dizziness often comes out of nowhere. One minute you feel fine, the next minute the room is spinning hard and it doesn't ease up. That sudden onset is a red flag. Number 2, dizziness combined with other neurological changes. This is where it gets serious. If dizziness shows up along with slurred speech, double vision, weakness in your arm, or a droop in your face, that's not a coincidence. That's your brain signaling trouble. Remember, it's rarely dizziness by itself. It's dizziness plus something else. Number 3, dizziness that doesn't go away with rest or hydration. If you sit down, breathe, and drink some water, and 20 minutes later you still feel just as off balance, that's a warning worth acting on. Here's an easy way to remember it: the FAST rule. Face, arm, speech, time. Ask the person to smile. Does one side of the face droop? Ask them to raise both arms. Does one drift downward? Listen for speech. Do the words sound slurred or strange? If the answer is yes to any of these, it's time to call emergency services right away. These tests are simple, but they save lives every single day. And knowing them means you'll never have to second guess whether a dizzy spell is harmless or a true emergency. So, what should you do if you or someone you love feels that kind of dizziness and shows even one of those warning signs? Don't wait. Don't lie down to see if it gets better. Call emergency services right away. Minutes matter, and fast treatment can make the difference between a full recovery and lasting disability. But here's the hopeful part. There's a lot we can do to lower the odds of ever facing that moment. Protecting your brain and circulation doesn't require fancy programs or extreme changes. It's about small, steady habits that keep your body resilient. Stay hydrated. Our brains are 70% water, and even mild dehydration makes them work harder. Keep your blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol in check. Your doctor can guide you, but simple choices like reducing processed foods and adding more fresh vegetables go a long way. And, of course, keep moving. A 30-minute walk most days does wonders for your circulation, balance, and overall brain health. Think of these steps as insurance for your independence. They don't just reduce your risk of stroke, they keep your energy, your memory, and your confidence strong well into the years ahead. So here's the takeaway. Most of the time, dizziness is just your body asking you to slow down, breathe, and maybe drink a little more water. But sometimes, it's more than that. And now you know the difference. If it comes on suddenly, if it shows up with other changes like slurred speech or weakness, or if it just won't go away, that's when it's time to act fast. Because catching those signs quickly can save your health, your independence, and even your life. But remember this, aging doesn't have to mean living in fear. It means living wiser. It means knowing your body, listening to its signals, and making small daily choices that protect your future. I've seen it time and again. When people take charge of their health, they don't just add years to their life, they add life to their years. So take this knowledge with you. Share it with someone you care about. And if you'd like more clear, practical guidance for staying strong and independent after 50, make sure to subscribe and join us here. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, and keep moving forward with confidence.